Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Farah Al-Alwani, and I'm here today to guide you through a beautiful, healing, grounding yin yoga practice. Our theme for today is resilience in times of stress and adversity. What you will need for today's class is a yoga mat or a soft towel or a soft blanket to help support your body. You will need some pillows. So I have a couple of long pillows, those are helpful, or flat pillows, whatever feels good to you. If you have yoga bolsters, you can use those as well. I invite you to bring along some yoga blocks if you have them, or books that you can use for today's practice. All right, so let us begin by finding ourselves in a comfortable seated position with our spine straight and our shoulders rolled back, hands on the knees. And begin to lower your gaze down, and let us begin by bringing our full attention and intention to the present moment. Let us ground into this moment by beginning to take in a breath in through the nose, out of the mouth with a ha sound like this. Ha. And this helps us to stimulate the vagus nerve, which sends a signal to the brain that it's time for us to relax and be present. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathing in through the nose. Ah, beautiful. 1 more time. Breathing in through the nose, filling the lungs in all directions completely with air. Holding at the top, sighing it out. Ah, beautiful. I invite you now to bring your awareness to your hips on the ground, noticing the heaviness of your sit bones. Let's use our imagination here and visualize roots growing out of the base of our spine into the earth, connecting us with this beautiful life force energy, Mother Earth. I am loved, I am supported, I am safe. Just feel into those beautiful words, calling in the energy of safety and groundedness. Bring your awareness to your hips, visualize them sinking lower into the mat. Bring your awareness to your knees, your calves and your feet, noticing the hardness of the floor, maybe the smoothness of the blanket or the yoga mat, bringing your full awareness to the here and now. Now I invite you to bring your awareness to your lower spine, visualizing yourself aligning your lower spine, sitting taller, middle spine, upper spine, sitting nice and tall, slightly engaging the belly. And bring your awareness to your shoulders, visualizing them getting softer, heavier, releasing downwards, feeling the arms draping down, all the way to the fingertips, noticing your fingertips holding on to your knees. Bring your awareness to your neck and your head, noticing how your neck and head are connected and supported. Now bring your awareness to your breathing and notice how is it that you're breathing. We're not shifting, we're not changing anything, we're just observing. And perhaps even naming one sensation that we feel in our bodies. For example, in my body, I feel a bit of tension in my hips. I feel some tension in my spine. And I feel an openness in my heart area. So I invite you to name out loud one physical sensation that you're feeling. And now emotionally, let's name one emotion. So emotionally, I'm feeling a little bit tense, a little bit excited. I invite you to do the same. Emotionally, I feel. Just inviting that curiosity as to how you're feeling. Beautiful. Slowly begin to open your eyes, looking around the room, orienting to the here and now, noticing where you are. Beautiful. I invite you to just do a few shoulder rolls, just coming back to the here and now. Next, we're going to do a quick quadrant mapping exercise. We're going to split the body into longitudinal, latitudinal, into 4 quarters. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to gently tap. So I invite you to tap the chest area, the shoulders, the arms, and we're going to experiment with this kind of tapping, noticing how it feels to start to perhaps use your palm, use your fingers to just touch the body in this way. This helps us to dissipate any anxious energy that we're feeling, any maybe anxiety or something. This helps us to dissipate it. And let's end with some brushing motion as well. Again, opposite arm to opposite shoulder, using either the palm. I invite you to experiment with the palm, with the fingertips. Maybe even you want to make a fist. Tap the shoulder, the chest, and then start brushing all the way down. And this is a really good exercise for us to waken up the senses in the body. Sometimes when we're overwhelmed, we're in our heads too much, we forget that we have a body. Now let's do the legs. So we're going to extend one leg, and this time let's use 2 hands. We're going to tap around the hips, on either side of the thighs, on either side of the feet, and the legs, and all the way back up again. Just experiment with this kind of motion. How does it feel, this kind of touch? Perhaps one kind of touch feels better, maybe even making a fist and just tapping along the legs and then finishing off with brushing. Now let's switch, let's do the other side. Again, this is your practice, so I invite you to experiment with what feels good to you. Tapping all the way down and then all the way up again. I know that feels good for me, so if you feel like you need to make any noises or breathe in any kind of way, do so. Trust your body. Beautiful, shaking that off. Wonderful. So next we will be doing a Yoga Nidra practice. And Yoga Nidra is the best way for us to remove any kind of impressions, either in our minds, either emotionally or physically, any kind of toxins. Helps us to release all that through this simple practice. We will be here for about 10 minutes. And I invite you to bring along your props. So I will demonstrate for you. Perhaps you'd like to use a pillow for under your head. Perhaps you'd like to use a bolster. Just going to give you a few moments to get yourselves ready for this. And then a blanket to cover yourself up. And don't worry, I will tell you when it's time to get up. But for now, we're just going to be getting ourselves comfortable for this beautiful Yoga Nidra practice. And then when you're ready, I invite you to turn off the lights or switch them low. If you have an eye pillow as well, you could put it on top of your eyes. And just open the arms, palms facing upwards, allowing your mind and body to rest here. Beautiful. We will begin now our Yoga Nidra practice. I invite you now to repeat after me mentally 3 times. I will remain alert during the instructions. I will remain alert during the instructions. I will remain alert during the instructions. Bring your awareness now to your left thumb. First finger, second finger, third finger, and fourth finger. Allowing the hand to settle into the floor. Noticing the lower arm getting heavier and heavier. Upper arm sinks lower into the mat. and the left shoulder drapes down. Remain dead-like. Bring your awareness to your right thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, and baby right finger. Allowing the palm to rest and the wrist to soften. Notice the lower arm getting heavier and heavier. Upper arm and right shoulder sinking into the mat. Bring your awareness now to your left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Allowing the left foot to drop into the mat. Lower left leg, left thigh, and the left hip getting heavier and heavier. Bring your awareness to your right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and baby toe. The right foot settles, relaxes into the mat. Right ankle, right calf, right knee, heavier and heavier. Right thigh, right hip, the whole entire right leg drops into the mat. The belly softens, the chest sinks, yet the heart remains light. Lower spine, middle spine, and upper spine getting heavier and heavier. Back of the head, top of the head, forehead relaxes. Right cheek, left cheek, right jaw, and left jaw. The tongue sleeps in the bottom of the mouth. The throat relaxes. The whole entire body is letting go. I invite you now to imagine yourself standing in the middle of a hot desert with a bright sun on top of your head, causing your body to sweat with beads of sweat flowing down your face. I invite you now to imagine that you're in the middle of a snowstorm, super cold, and snowflakes are touching your face. Your nose is so cold and your fingers and your toes are freezing. invite you now to repeat after me 3 times, silently. All I need is within me now. I trust myself to handle anything that comes my way. All I need is within me now. I trust myself to handle anything that comes my way. All I need is within me now. I trust myself to handle anything that comes my way. Bring your awareness now to your heart, the right side of the heart, the size of the thumb, your spiritual heart. Resting your awareness there. Begin to slowly bring your awareness back to your body, lying on the floor, moving your fingers and your toes, taking a deep breath in, extending the arms above the head and the toes and the feet away from you, taking a big, beautiful stretch. Slowly bring yourself to one side of your body, and when you're ready, come back to a seated position, the same way that we started. Begin to slowly flutter the eyes open, rolling the shoulders, just bringing some movement into the body. Thank you for doing that practice with me. And now let us go ahead with our first posture. So make sure that you have your props close by, because I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can use them. So we're going to begin with half butterfly pose. I will demonstrate to you. We're going to bend the right leg and straighten the left leg, bringing the sole of the right foot towards the inner thigh of the left thigh, as high up as feels good to you. Next, we're going to lay forward, come forward, and for me, I like to use my pillows, my bolsters to help me with the support. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come as forward as I can, and then I'm going to rest my forehead on this bolster. And just have a see, how does this feel for you? If you feel like it's not really helpful, it's not really supportive, you can also place the bolster here and then bring your palms underneath the face to hold the face. We want to make sure that we're not straining the neck too much. So we need that support. If this isn't working, again, you can lift it up with a block, and this helps too. Now the target area for this beautiful posture is the back line of the body. So it targets the hamstrings, the spine, the lower spine, and the inner thighs of this bent leg. Now, if your leg isn't resting on the floor, you can use a block or a pillow underneath this knee, okay? The bent knee. So for me, I'm fine, I don't need it, but you can go ahead. All right, so in Yin Yoga, there are two reasons to move. Reason number one is after being in the posture for some time, the body begins to open up, and this acts as an invitation for you to go deeper into the posture. Reason number two is if you start to get a really uncomfortable sensation, your body is unable to sit in that position, it feels difficult, then give yourself permission to ease off the posture or use more props. Or if it's super uncomfortable, give yourself permission to come out completely. This is your practice. This is your time for you to connect with your body. Listen to your body. Slowly lift your head up. We're going to move the props away from us. And we're going to bend the knees and windshield wipe the legs side to side just to give our legs the relief that we need. And straight away, we're going to do the opposite side. So we're not taking a resting pose here. Beautiful. Once you feel you're good, maybe you want to straighten them and shake them. And now let's straighten the left leg and bend the right knee, dropping the knee to one side, bending the leg, dropping the knee to one side. Again, pressing the sole of the inner right leg into the thigh. And I will offer you another variation here. So make sure that the extended leg is relaxed. And instead of folding directly on top of the leg, if you'd like to feel a bit of a twist, you can drop or align your body towards that side. And you'll feel it more towards one side of your waist. But I highly suggest that you do the same thing as we did before. Okay, so again, using your props to help you get supported here. And the most important thing is for us to feel it in the target areas, which is the back of the body, the back of the spine, the hamstrings, the inner thighs. And just begin to get comfortable here. Now, if you've noticed, I have my thumbs pressed in between my eyebrows, and that's because I'm pressing on these acupressure points, which upon release will help us to release the mental tension in the mind. So Yin Yoga is just like driving a beautiful brand new car. If we jump into our car and race down the road, when we're still unfamiliar of the functionalities or the dimensions of the car, we risk getting injured. Just like in Yin Yoga, if we jump too fast, too soon into the posture when our body isn't aware of what's happening, we risk injury to the muscles. On the other hand, if we're too afraid to drive our beautiful new car, we miss out on the joy of driving it, and we will miss out on that experience of enjoying the new car. Just like in Yin Yoga, if we're too afraid to go to the depths of the posture, we'll miss out on the benefits of this beautiful posture. So Yin Yoga is just like driving a beautiful new car. You follow the instructions, you follow the speed limit, you do it nice and slow so that you can enjoy your ride and reach your destination and have a beautiful experience. So just like that, we follow the instructions, we stay the length of the posture, and then when we release, we'll definitely get the benefits of our practice. If you have your thumbs along your eyebrows, just release them and slowly begin to straighten up, sitting up. Just allow the blood to flow down before we move any further. And then slowly begin to move your props away from you. And then let's windshield wipe the legs again, bending them. Just creating some relief there. Maybe you want to shake your legs. Just experiment with different kind of mini motions in between. And I invite you now to come into your resting posture. So you can choose to lie either on your side or on your back or even on your belly, whatever feels good to you. Let's get ready for our next posture. We'll be going into reclining twist. So if you're not on your back, please find your way on your back. And we're going to bend the legs with the feet on the mat. And I invite you now to shift your hips to the right side. And you have a few options here. You can just drop your knees to the left side, opening the arms to the side. And you'll notice that you'll feel the sensations along your spine. And with your arms open, you'll feel it across your chest. Okay, so it's a beautiful twist. Another option would be if you want to go for a bit of a deeper stretch, you can cross that top leg on top of the lower leg and then bend and then throw your legs to one side. Or not throw them, but, bring them to one side. And here I invite you to use your props to help support you. So I can bring my props here. Or you can even extend that. If you want a really super deep stretch, you can extend that leg straight ahead in front. Now, the most important thing here is for us to keep our neck facing upwards because we have these important arteries in our neck and we don't want to be injuring them because we'll be here for a little while. So make sure that you're facing upwards. Arms can be open on either side of you, or they can be placed maybe one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. That's entirely up to you. And this is more of a grounding sensation. This helps us to bring our awareness and attention inwards. Okay? When you have your arms open, it's a beautiful heart opener as well. So you may notice sensations along the outer edge of that top leg, the IT band down the outer thigh. You may notice sensations as well in the bottom leg and the inner thigh. Just get curious and start to scan the body from head down to the toes and notice. Whatever you notice is okay. There's no right, there's no wrong. If your shoulder comes off of the mat, that's okay. But if you like the support, you can place a blanket underneath that right shoulder. So I have my blanket here. I can just slowly shuffle it and bring it under my shoulder. Just notice what feels good to you. So twists are really good to help detoxify the body and open the diaphragm muscles, which are this muscles underneath the ribs. So upon release, you get this beautiful opening of the diaphragm, which helps us to breathe deeper. Scanning the body, noticing if you're holding any tension anywhere in the muscles, perhaps the hips, maybe the chest, maybe the shoulders. Softly allow your body to sink into the mat and let go of that tension, if it feels good to you. Slowly, we're going to bring the knees together and then lift up the knees, coming out of this beautiful postures. And then bring your spine back to center. And let's bring our knees towards us, hugging the knees, rocking the body from side to side, giving our spine a beautiful massage here. Let's hold on to the right knee, extending the left. Just bring that knee towards you. Maybe ankle rotations. And let's switch. Left knee towards us. Ankle rotation and switch. Beautiful. And we're going to come here into our resting posture. So just bring your legs to rest, coming into Shavasana. Prepare for the other side. So bending into the knees, shifting the hips to the left side. And let's choose our variation. So perhaps crossing one leg over the other and then dropping the knees. Remember, you have your props to help you. So you can use your props to help support the knees. Opening the arms on either side. Making sure that you're facing upwards, so your neck is facing upwards. You're not looking to the right or to the left. Okay. And then, again, you can choose where to put your arms. Keeping the palms facing up with the arms on either side. Helps to open up the chest muscles. You can even bring them into cactus arms. I have a few variations here where you're dropping the arms behind you. And if you do it this way, you'll notice that we're targeting the shoulder blades. Okay, so you notice a bit of upper spine engagement here. This beautiful posture helps to target the liver meridian, which is the liver channel, which holds anger and frustration. So when we're sitting in this posture, we're tugging at that meridian, and upon release, we get to release any of that anger or frustration or that we've been holding on to. And you can even bring a visualization of this beautiful heart energy flowing through the channels of the body, the meridian channels of the body, that helps us to feel a sense of safety and groundedness, and that everything is going to be okay. I want to share with you a quote here. The conditioned reflex is whenever you encounter difficulty, whether it's inside of you or whether it's in life, is that you leave the heart. At those moments, the thing you need most is to live from the heart, by Adyashanti. So I invite you to explore, how do you stay in your heart? And what does it mean to be in your heart? Perhaps it's having a gratitude attitude. So I invite you to bring to mind 3 things that you are grateful for today. Specifically today, 3 things that really make you feel super lucky, make you feel super connected, and that you are loved. Slowly, we're going to bring the knees back up, uncross the legs, lifting the hips up and dropping them again. Let's do some dynamic transition here. So we're going to do bridge lifts. So I invite you here to flip the palms to face up. Bring the feet as close towards your hips as you can. And we're going to pressing downwards with our heels into the mat, engaging the pelvic floor muscle, the abdominal muscle, as we lift our hips up. Beautiful. And lift it up. And we're slowly going to bring it down. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Pressing the lower back into the mat, maybe lifting the toes. Now we're going to again press into the heels into the mat, engaging pelvic floor muscle and abdominal muscle, lifting all the way up, holding here for a moment, and slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing the hips down, pressing the hips, the lower spine into the mat, lifting the toes. Beautiful. Release. One more time. We're going to press into the heels into the mat, lifting the hips all the way up, making sure that you are keeping the knees aligned. They're moving towards each other. And slowly, we're going to drop the hips down. Beautiful. Bringing the knees towards you, just rolling back a few times. And then coming into our resting posture. So let's make our way onto our bellies. We're going to be coming into our Sphinx pose. I invite you to bring a block or a pillow with you. And what we're going to do is we're going to lie on our bellies, and then your elbows are underneath the shoulders or slightly in front. Your feet are hip width distance apart. If you have sensitive knees, you can tuck your toes in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our hands, just spreading the fingers, pressing them down, and then we're going to look up for about 20 seconds here, just so that we can open up the throat fascia, the throat chakra, and looking upwards. Just for a few more seconds. And if you're having sensitive neck, you don't have to do this. What you can do is slowly begin to lower your forehead down and then placing the forehead on the block or on the pillow. And as we're here, we can sink into our shoulders. It's okay for us to do this in this yin practice. And you'll notice that this targets the lower spine, the upper spine, targets the shoulders as well. You may also notice sensations in the abdominal muscles. So this beautiful posture targets the stomach meridian, which lines along the front of the body. And this one usually stores the negative emotion of worry. So upon release, we are setting the intention to let go of anything that has been on our mind for a while, something that we're worried about, that we keep on visualizing the outcome of. And instead, let's turn that into a prayer. So we can turn that into a prayer by asking the divine, the universe, God, whoever you believe in, just trusting that the universe has your back and will always take care of you, and surrendering it to the universe, to the divine. If you'd like to go a little deeper with me, we can lift our elbows off of the mat, coming into seal posture. And this one will give you more sensations along the lower spine. You can also use a pillow to place underneath the belly, and this will help to give you a bit of relief. And the closer you bring your hands towards you, the more you'll notice the sensations increase along the lower spine. So don't be afraid to push a little bit beyond what you're used to, right? That's how we build resilience, by doing something in a different way, by doing something new, by experimenting. That's how we build our resilience in life and self-trust, knowing that all I need is within me now, and I can handle anything that comes in life. Bring your awareness as well to the backs of your knees and your thighs. Notice if you're holding any tension there. Just using your breath, I invite you to soften and surrender that tension. We're slowly going to bring our elbows down. If we have a pillow underneath us, we can remove this, remove the block away from you, and let us meet here on our bellies with our forehead on our hands. And let's lift our knees and swish them from side to side just to get some relief there in the lower spine. You can kick your legs as well. And if you feel like you need a bit more relief, you can push up into child's pose and just coming into child's pose, and then perhaps forward, dropping forward to cobra, and then again child's pose, just getting that beautiful spine lubricated. Beautiful. Once you've done that a few times, I invite you to come into a resting position. Perhaps try a new resting position. If you've been lying on your back, maybe lie on your side or lie on your belly. I invite you slowly to make yourself your way back up into seated position for our next posture, which is saddle. So I'm going to demonstrate to you what you will need. I like to have this pillow behind me, and how we're going to approach this is we're going to sit just right there with our spine, our lower spine along touching the bolster. And you're sitting on your knees, and you're slowly going to just make space in between your knees and just notice, how does this feel for you? If it's too much for your knees, or if your knees are coming off, you have the option of bending one knee and just sitting down this way. And notice this is a little bit easier, okay? And then we're slowly going to bring our spine all the way back so that we're lying on the bolster, okay? Now your arms can be on either side of you, or they can be on your body. Just notice what feels good to you. So if this is okay, you can stay here. Another option would be to just bend the front leg as well. And if this is completely inaccessible for you, I will invite you to come into reclining butterfly as well. This is a good option if this is completely inaccessible. So your legs are in butterfly, your feet are touching, the inner soles of your feet are touching, and you're lying on this pillow with your arms open. I like to give a few variations because we're all at different levels, right? Now, notice that if you are in this variation, in this pose, then it targets the inner thighs and the lower spine. If you're in the full version of the saddle, you'll notice the sensations along the top of your legs, your thighs. So you're activating your thighs here and the lower meridians of the lower legs. Okay. And it's a beautiful heart opener because we have our chest raised and open. So I want to share with you a story here. And this is the story of the farmer and the donkey. One day, a farmer's donkey fell down in a well as they were walking towards the village. The animal cried and cried and cried, and so did the farmer, because he didn't know what to do. He was trying to figure out a way where he could save his donkey, because after all, his donkey is not only his friend, but he's also his helper that helps him to carry things from the market. After trying to figure it out, he decided that perhaps it's time to let go of his friend, the donkey. And he decided that it's time to cover up that well anyway. And it wasn't really worth it for him to try to rescue the donkey. But instead, he decided that he was going to fill up the well with sand, and he invited his neighbors to help him. So him and his neighbors and his friends started to grab a shovel and begin to shovel the dirt into the well. At first, the donkey didn't know what was going on, and he thought that perhaps this was a new way of him getting help. But when he realized that the farmer was actually going to fill up the well with sand, he started to cry and cry and cry and cry until suddenly he couldn't cry anymore, and he just quieted down. And it was very, very quiet. A few shovel loads later, the farmer decided to look down the well, and he was super surprised as what he saw. Because with each shovel of dirt that he shoveled and it hit the back of the donkey was doing something amazing. He would shake it off and step up on that pile of sand that was thrown down. And as the farmers and the neighbors continued to shovel the dirt on top of the animal, the donkey would shake it off and take another step up, until pretty soon everyone was amazed when the donkey stepped up over the edge of the well and happily trotted off safely. So just like life is always going to shovel dirt on you, the trick is getting out of the well, shaking it off, and stepping up. We each have our own troubles, and each trouble can be seen as a stepping stone. So we can get out of the deepest wells just by not stopping and letting that experience overwhelm us. We never, ever give up. We shake it off, we take a step up, and we get out of the situation that we need to get out of. And we have to trust that deep inside of us, we have the resiliency and the ability to get out of it. Because after all I need is within me now. I trust myself to get out of any situation that I need to get out of. Beautiful. So if you're in butterfly, I invite you to slowly, or in saddle, slowly move, shift your body to one side, with your arms coming onto the floor, and then lift your spine up, extend your legs. Maybe you want to shake your legs. And even if you're in saddle, slowly begin to straighten the legs and then shake them off. Let's move the pillow from behind us, and let's lay on our back and just sway from side to side. Beautiful. Coming into our resting posture. Slowly bring yourself back up to seated position. And I want to share with you a fun balancing somatic exercise. So I invite you to stand up and perhaps grab your blocks. And this beautiful, fun exercise helps us to shift our perspective. So I invite you to stand up, and what we're going to do is we're going to start to sway, like lifting up onto our toes and then back onto our heels. So coming onto our toes and then back onto the heels, and just start to move your body, swaying forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. Beautiful. The aim here is just to have a little fun, to shift our perspective. Next, let's just open the feet hip-width distance apart, and we're going to sway from one side and lifting one foot off, and then balancing on right side, left side, right side, left side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lift up the right leg, holding it, bending the knee, holding it, and then slowly moving backwards. And now open the arms. Let's see if we can just move the body to one side with the leg balanced. Notice what you can do. If you can do this in this way, in any way, just start to randomly move. There's no right, there's no wrong. Beautiful. We can also experiment with the block. So we're going to stand, bring the block right there, and we're going to stand on it with the left leg. And now we're going to experiment with swaying, lifting that right leg off and just swaying from one side to the other. Notice how you automatically start to smile when you're doing something that just looks funny, right? And that's okay. It's okay for us to do funny stuff and to look funny, right? Not everything has to be perfect. So I'd love to know how that was for you. And now let us go back to the way that we started, sitting in this beautiful seated position. Perhaps if your right leg was in front, you want to switch and have the left leg in front. And let's place our hands on the knees, shifting our attention inwards, scanning the body from head down to toes. Bringing the awareness to the breath, deepening the breath, sitting here just for a moment in silence. Bringing your awareness back to the sounds in the room, into your hips on the floor, rolling your shoulders a few times, bringing a soft smile to your face. And let us take 3 breaths in together, in through the nose, opening the mouth, sighing it out. Beautiful. 2 more times, breathing in through the nose. One last time, in through the nose. And I want to share with you this beautiful Metta Bhavana prayer. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we be free from suffering. May we be free from mental anxiety. May we live in peace. May our lives be blessed with ease. So be it, and so it is. Slowly begin to open your eyes, looking around the room, looking all around, recognizing yourself, feeling gratitude for who you are. I'd love to hear from you. How is this practice for you? You can comment underneath the video or share it with me in a direct message or in an email. And I wish for you a beautiful day ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.